Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Let me tell you a story of how I did something great. A story of how I added a game type to an old Call of Duty game that no one asked for, hardly anyone plays anymore, and honestly, the game type wasn't that popular in COD 4. Ah, I remember it like it was yesterday. Mostly because I've been working on it every day since it started like 2 weeks ago. But it's still a good memory. Where am I going with this? Alright, enough with whatever that was. So one day while I was browsing the files in World at War, because that's what people like to do for fun, um, I found that there is a leftover script called oldschool.gsc. And, upon looking through it, I realized that it was actually, I do believe it's leftover from COD 4. I don't think they ever planned for this to make it into COD 5 because you can see here it says Scorpion and Beretta, which obviously are not guns from World of War, but they are the starting weapons from COD 4's old school mode. Now, unlike a lot of cut content from World at War, you can actually access this script without any mods by going into multiplayer on PC and typing in scr underscore old school and then going into a match.
We'll come out on top.
Okay, so in the match you'll notice a few things. One, that you have no weapon and you don't start with any creative classes. You can see that it's locked. You can't actually click that. You'll also notice that you can sprint forever. And you also have no fall damage. Well, you have a little fall damage, but it's supposed to be none. So this is cool and all, but it's not very practical. If you actually wanted to play this game mode with other people, you'd have to spawn in a weapon every time you died with commands, and you also wouldn't have access to any perks. So I set out to make it practical. So I began by changing the starting weapons to weapons that are actually in the game. I figured for the primary weapon, the BAR was bad enough to promote looking for other weapons, but good enough so that you wouldn't get stomped on by someone who's just picked up something better. And since all the pistols are statistically the same other than the Magnum, I decided to just go with the Colt for the secondary. And unfortunately, this is where we hit our first roadblock. Within this file is an init pickups function. And within this function, it's looking for any entity with the target name old school pickup. And if it finds an entity that fits that description, it spawns whatever entity it is into the world, and it's usable in the game. However, since I really don't think this game mode was ever planned for World at War, the maps don't actually have any of these entities in them, and they probably never did. So that means they needed to be added. And initially, I thought that you could just load up the map file and drop in an entity and call it a day. Apparently not. Apparently, the map files are one of the few things that are not actually included in World at War mod tools when you download them. However, all hope was not lost. You see, you don't actually need access to the map files in order to add things into the map. You can do it through mapname.gsc file. Whenever you load a map, the game calls a mapname.gsc file, the function of which is twofold. One, it prepares certain aspects of the map that aren't handled by the actual .map file, like creating the minimap icon that goes in the corner of the screen, or declaring whether or not it's a German v Russian map or a US versus Japan map, stuff like that. The second function is a patch file, sort of. So way back when this game was still the main Call of Duty game, any glitch on any map that got patched was probably patched by adding a small but necessary bit of code to this file, which would then crush people's dreams, is really what it did. I hated when they would patch glitches. Anyway, fortunately for me, that means that any code I put in here is going to get run whenever that specific map is loaded. So, with a little digging in the game files and a lot of help from the UGX scripting reference, I came up with this system. 1. Note down what weapons and perks I wanted in that map. 2. Go into the actual map and gather the locations of everything. 3. Feed those locations and weapon names into my algorithm. And 4. Test it in-game. And if everything worked, that would be the map, and it would be ready to actually play old school on. At the moment, we've completed 18 of World at War's 23 maps. So if anyone wants to try this mod out for themselves, I'll attach a link to the mod files in the description below. And now, here's some quick gameplay from a match I played with my friends. Thank you.
Free for all! Bring death to all on the battlefield!